Hey folks, welcome to another video about Russian fishing 4. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about feeder fishing. So in the previous video I described that the first decision that you need to make in this game is what type of a fisherman you like to be. If you want to do bobber fishing, mat rod fishing, if you want to do spin fishing or feeder fishing. In this video I'm going to show you guys, once you made that decision, what you need to do. So first up, it's feeder fishing. I'll do a separate video about spin fishing and a separate video also about bobber fishing and mat rod. Today it's feeder fishing. First up, we need gear. Now I've discovered myself that in order to purchase the very basic feeder fishing rod with all its components, you need a total of between 65 and 70 silver. So right from the start you cannot already start doing feeder fishing. You need to grind first with your bobber rods. You need to grind first 15 extra silver. Once you have that, you walk over to the store. Here we are at the store. You need a bit to load, and then here we go. So these are telescopics. That is not what we are interested in. These are Bolognese. We do not want those as well. These are the spin fishing tackle. That is not for us. These are also not for us. What we need is this fella, Express Fishing Sorrento. So you click on that one and then you're gonna pick the first one. That is the most cheapest out here at the moment. 37 silver and 80 cents. That is what you need, and what we get is a fishing rod that has a throwing weight between 20 and 100 grams. It has a length of 3.2 meters, a total strength of 5 kilograms, and a total amount of bait that it can handle is 314 grams. So you purchase this one. I already did purchase it, so I'm not gonna click on it again. Also, I do not have enough money. Next up is the reel. For that you'll just grab this fella, the little one, the Sport 3000S. It comes with a maximum weight of 3 kilograms. That is what we need for our rod at the moment. So that will make the total already at 47.80. Now you see why we need it. Next up, we need some monofilament line. Do never ever put braided line on a feeder rod. You need the elasticity, and a braided line does not have the elasticity. So we'll just go with Express Fishing Super Line. Now ideally something like 7 pound will be enough. That has a max test of 3.1 kilogram. So this one over here, that is the one that I would suggest to go and start with. If you're feeling lucky, you could go with the 8.5 pound. However, this is going to put quite a lot of stress, extra stress on your gear, especially if you're hooking a bigger carp. So my advice is for the first couple of levels, stick with the 7 pound. After you have that, then obviously we also need a hook. Just the first hook, Express Fishing Stinger. Now I have purchased a bunch of number 10s, number 8s, number 6s, and I think also 4. In general, the rule of thumb is the bigger the hook, the bigger the fish. Now, and since this is our starting rod, we cannot handle the absolute monsters. That is why I myself prefer to fish with either a 10 or 8 hook. But just suit yourself what you would like. So the line was 4 silver. This is another 120, 140. Silver 110. So now you already are at a total of what is it? 54 silver. And we are not done yet. Next up, we need a sinker. I've chosen this one, and then not the first one, but the second one. The reason for that is that our throwing weight on our rod was between 20 and 100 gram, and this pair sinker number 5 is actually 15 gram. So here, this one, the next underneath it, is 30 gram, the pair sinker number 4. So that is the one that you need. That is another 150. So we are at a total of 55.5 baits. Now, currently at the shop, some stuff is out of stock, but I would recommend you can fish with garden worms, not the leeches they cost gold. These are dung worms, and these are actually rain worms. These two are good as well. Maggots is very good to fish with too. Cheese bits are good. Corn, you can fish with it, but you truly do need to be careful for the simple reason that corn in this game attracts the bigger fish. Now, imagine that you have your 3 kilogram or your 5 kilogram rod and your 3 kilogram reel, and you're hooking a 12 kilogram carp. That is gonna do heavy damage on your rig. You can take the chance. I myself prefer a bit of safety at the moment. I do not feel the urge to go after the most big fish in game yet, because simply I know that at my level and with my gear I can't handle it, so I refrain from corn. But potatoes are good. Potatoes are good. Do not confuse them with these. So these got a bit of curves around it. This is actually cheese. Peas would also attract the bigger ones, but you could test it out. If you feel like it, you could also get boilies. Now, I would first of all advise you to purchase them at the store at the third lake, because their boilies are a bit cheaper. But you still can, and then so you either grab this one or grab a yellow one or that one, but obviously the prices are already a bit higher. So in my case, I would go with the potato pieces, and I did the maggots for 240. So now we are at 60, and we are still not done because we also need a steel leader. This one is 120, and we'll take that one as well. And then last but not least, you guys would think that with feeder fishing we need these feeders, but unfortunately for feeder fishing you need to have the skill at 100% before you can use these, or the method feeders. So no need to purchase them at the moment. What you can do is purchase ground bait. I will cover this in a different video later on as well. It is not needed, not truly needed at the moment, but if you do want to get it, you can see that most of them are marked in orange. You can't use it yet because you lack the skill, but this one is in white. That is the semolina, and then over here we've got ground crackers. You can choose either one of them, and over here you can choose millet porridge for your second ground bait dough, so to say, corn, and you've got bloodworms to choose from. And last but not least, here we've got the liquid attractors. That was vanilla caramel over here, and there's one more, sunflower oil. So those are the ones that you can choose from. Like I said, later on I will go over how to craft ground bait, but that will be in a different video. And that is it. So that in total you would be between 65 and 70 silver, depending on what you choose, whether you did the ground bait or not, whether you went for the boilies or not. One last thing that is very important, I found out the hard way. I hooked a 6+ kilogram carp, and I could not land it. I had it even on the floor, I had it even on shore, but because I lacked the landing net, I could not land it. For the bigger carp, and that goes for all bigger fish over a certain weight limit, you are forced to use a landing net, otherwise you cannot land the fish. My advice is first do some fishing, get yourself your basic setup that you want for your desired choice of fishing style. Then the first thing you need to do after that, grind money and purchase this baby, because you're definitely gonna need it. Alright, and then that is it. So we'll go to our setup. I'm going to get everything off, so we'll set it up together. By the way, guys, never ever press this button, BBL6 POC mirrored NTB. That means discard it. If you press it, you will actually throw it away and you have no means of getting it back. So do not press it. This means remove everything that is attached to it. This means equip, and we are now going to set it up. So first, obviously, the reel. There we go. Then we need the line. I've got the 7-pound line. Onto that we need a pair sinker. There we go. Then we need a steel leader, like so. Then we need a hook. I'm choosing the 10 for it. And last we need the bait. Some things I have been gifted, by the way, so that is why you guys can actually see it. But we'll choose potatoes. There we go. And this is PVA stick, but at the moment you do not have the skill yet to put the PVA on it. So we'll just leave that empty, and then obviously we need to equip it. So here we are. We have our rod. Now let's do some fishing. Actually, I'm going to eat a little bit first. There we go. Now we are all good to go. So one of the spots that I like to fish is at the camp, and that is where we are currently heading. So here we are. Alright, so next up, what do we need to do? First, obviously, you need to determine where do you want to throw out. I actually like these cut reeds, bunch uncut ones, so I'm going to fish over there. So we are going to grab our rod. Here we go. Now with R we can set the reel in speed, keep the R button pressed, and then you scroll your mouse wheel up and down. I like to have it at 15. And now we need to do the drag, and default it's 15. You also use again the mouse wheel, but do not press the R, and I myself prefer to have it at 8. We are going to cast out, and we can cast out by just pressing the left mouse button. But if you keep the left mouse button pressed, or if you keep the left shift button pressed and tap the left mouse button, you can actually throw with more force, and then you get this 122%. Might be 117, might be 100, a bit under it. That then has to do with the amount of energy that you've got. But we'll just do it like so. And now my aim was completely off, but we did cast 20 meters out. Close the bail. You do that by clicking the left mouse button again. To open it, press enter. There you open it and set it on the ground like so. Now you guys can hear some bells. That is this over here. Now what we need to do is we need to press Y to actually get the slack off the line and to set it tight. I actually want it to be like this. Alright, here we go. So with Y, just do it until it is tight. You can hear the bells ring for a second. And that is it. Now you wait. Now with E you can pick the rod back up again, like so. With 0 you place it down, and like I said, with Y you can tighten the line. There you go. Now G actually allows you to swap stuff in the assembly, so that is what G does, but we'll leave it like this. And then, like I said, you wait. It takes a bit of time and takes a bit of patience, so you could get one of your float rods out and start doing some fishing with that. I'll just leave it as it is right now. I'll crank up my volume a bit on my end, so we'll actually be able to hear when the bells go off. But I do like to take you guys to the skill tree, because that is important. So you press O for making it appear. You can also just press the escape button that brings you the main menu, and then click on this one. Here we go. So this is bobber fishing, spin fishing, and this is feeder fishing, and this is what we need. So you click on it. Now there are a couple of things that you guys need to know. First up, our skill. Here we see it as 7.1%. This gets increased every time you catch a fish on that specific type of rod. So this is feeder fishing. So every time I catch a fish on my feeder rod, I'll actually get an increase of 0.2%. If I were to catch it on my spinning rod, I would get 0.2% in here, and if I get it on my bobber rod or match rod or Bolognese, I will get it here. So here we have the feeder fishing, and every time you level, you get 1 skill point that you can put in this tree. So when you start, you'll actually have free skills available, and the rest is locked. You can unlock these at later levels. The higher your skill increases. We'll also say here it has to be 25%. Alright, so where to put in the points? You do need to be a bit careful about this. So I am going to explain to you guys what this all means. So first up in here, oh, give me a second. Here we go. I need to tap a bit. A message popping up covering my OBS, so I had to close that down. My apologies. First up, this one over here means how you handle your reel. So it is good to put a couple of points in this one. The more points you have in it, the higher your skill will be in handling the reel, how you reel it in actually. So this increases it by 5%. The one moment that you put a point in it, you can see that in here it actually opens up the next one, so you can put another point in that. I am going for 1 point in this one at the moment. Over here we have how you assemble a simple ground rig, so to say. So we are obviously fishing currently at the bottom. This is how we do it. Every time we put a point in this one, it adds up to 5%. So we'll put a point in that one as well. And then over here, this is the last. This is how you fish with a feeder rod. And every point that you place in this one increases your casting out abilities by 5%, and it increases your aim by 3%. So this is very good to put your points in. So I'm gonna put 3 in those, and then I'm left with 2 points. I am leaving it at this for the time being. I think the other 2 points I'm actually going to put those in here in the bobber fishing, so I'll actually be a bit better with that. So this here again, the 5% to 3% always means that you can cast out further by 5%, and that your aim is better by 3%. And then here of course it's 10 and 6 and 15 and 9 and so on and so forth. And then this one, the 5% with no extra text underneath it, means how you handle your rod. So this I actually like to put in the final point as well. At this moment, at this stage, we can not reset our skill points. In the future we will be able to reset, but it is going to cost you. So that is why you need to be truly careful in where you put your points in. I for instance made a mistake on my main account in putting points in nearly everything. So I put points in my bobber fishing, I put points in my spinning, and I put points in the feeder, and then I ended up with, alright, so now I do not have a specific style that I can do. Well, I can if I continue to level up, but because I somewhat wasted, quote unquote, my points in that matter, I'm now going all around on my main account. So for feeder fishing, because we're also doing a bit of bobber fishing to the side, that is why I put these 2 remaining points in it. By the way, I'm level 8, so that is why I've got these 7 points. But the other 5 points I put in here. Later on, when we go to the more advanced stuff, I'll talk about this as well. But this is how feeder fishing goes at the moment. I'll make sure to have this all translated on a later point in time. Currently I'm actually a bit swamped with stuff to do, but we will translate this later on. And also, by the way guys, the English translation and the German translation of this game is coming up between the end of August and the end of September. So just 2 more months, 2 to 3 more months, and then we are good to go. Then you can play this game in English and in German or in Russian. More languages are coming up as well in the future. Alright, so it has been very, very, very silent. It did not do a thing, but just for the video's sake, let's see, how far are we here? 20 minutes. I had hoped to have a fish on by now with all this talking. So let's see. Yeah, I think that there's not a whole lot more that I can say at the moment. As soon as you have the money to purchase your feeder rod, go get your feeder rod. Then you put the points in the skill tree into your. Then you put your points into the skill tree. After that, grind fish, grind money, get yourself that landing net. If you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, watch the video on my YouTube channel. It's called Lady vs Fish. What's that one? I actually battled a 6+ kilogram carp for 1 real life hour. That I've never battled a fish so long in this game so far. And I had it rolling all over the sand. I actually had it right over here. And I had it rolling here over the sand onto the shore and whatnot, but no, it would just not. It would just not really. Oh, and there we go. You got a fish on. So you pick it up, you increase the drag. Oh, that is marvelous. That is marvelous. And there we go. Now you guys can see in the bottom we got a yellow indicator going on. When it turns red, that is when you truly need to worry. But here we go. Now I already have a landing net on this one. Excuse me. And that red message actually was because I had to mute myself because I needed a cough. You can hear by the reel that it attempts to take line. So you can do, just stop a bit. Wait until it does not. And there we go. Now we are reeling it in. If you have purchased the landing net, what you can do is with spacebar, you can actually pop it up. But it also means that you cannot reel in. So for now, I'm gonna tuck it away. Let's see, I had it on. Here we go. It's coming towards us. So when it tries to take line, do not reel in. Do make sure to put. Here we go. Bring my landing net out. And come on, fish. There we go. Now we got it. A 1.6 kilogram carp. There we go. So that is a good catch. That is a good start. I'm glad I could show you guys this. So this is what you'll be going after from now on with your feeder rod. Guys like these are bloody hard to catch on a bobber with the starting rod. So if you want to go after the big carp, and if you're not into spin fishing, choose feeder fishing. It's definitely an awesome way to go after fish like these. So we are going to keep that, of course. Then lower your drag. Again, the mouse wheel that you can scroll, and you can cast out again. Alright guys, so that is this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Later on I will talk about the more advanced feeder fishing. We'll be doing feeder fishing with multiple rods and stuff like that, but that is in the future. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, feel free to post them below. Also, I am streaming this game almost every weekday. Almost every workday, I should say. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I'm not streaming on Friday or Saturday, and sometimes I stream on Sunday, but not all the time. Recently, I got in contact with one of the developers from Russian Fishing 4, and they've agreed to do a weekly Q&A. Next Q&A will be up on Thursday, the 6th of July, starting at 10 p.m. GMT +1. So if you have any questions about this game and you want to ask it personally towards the developer, his name is Gene, come hop by on Thursday, the 6th of June 2017, I should say, at 10 p.m. GMT +1. If you can't, feel free to post the questions that you have below here, and I will try to answer them myself. If I can't, then I'll hand them over to Gene, and then later on come back to you guys and give you the answer. So that's it for now, guys. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video again. I'll be covering spin fishing in that one. Bye bye, folks.